Hello, my name is Nancy Mayer and my company is Power Play Productivity Solutions. I am a PMP as well as a certified Scrum Master and Agile coach. And today I'm going to be talking to you about play to your strengths. And this is really using EQ, games, and other tools to really help out bring the best in your team members, especially during these trying times. So I'm going to start my slide deck and let's go. I'm really excited to share this with you. What we're really going to do here is figure out how we can use play and a bunch of other fun tools to actually bring out the best in your team members and help them through these trying times. So let me ask you a question. Is 2020 playing havoc on your team morale and productivity? I would probably venture a guess. First of all, many of you may still be working remotely. And we have seen through this COVID-19 that there's been a 370% increase in anxiety, another 394 increase in depression. And, it really is something that we have to deal with. So what I want to talk to you about is how we can make that happen. But first, let me just take a quick moment to introduce you to who I am. My name is Nancy Mayer. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. Consider myself an opportunist in the most positive sense of the word. My father was a college professor, so I ended up getting an MBA, and I did my undergraduate in computer sciences and economics and my MBA in international business and arts administration because I had always seen myself kind of on working with the arts. So I did become an artist manager and proudly had several gold and platinum records to my name. And then I got into conferences and becoming a conference manager and helped build Canadian Music Week, which is one of the largest music industry conferences, festivals, and events in the world now. Then I went from there into event manager, and I worked for the Ride for Sight, which is the longest running motorcycle charity event in the world, and probably took them from about 600,000 to 1.3 million in donations in less than 2 years. And that was all through communication and working with teams. I went on to have my own co-own accessory manufacturer in the motorcycle industry, made high-tech boot and sports socks. And when I left that company, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I looked back on my career and I said, you know what? Everything that I've done has been very project-oriented, but even more so, the part that I felt was missing a little bit was that corporate experience. And what I love about being a project manager, I did go back and get my master's certificate in project management, is this idea that you are a small business owner inside of a large performing organization. It just gave me so many opportunities. And I really excelled at it. It was phenomenal. I was working at the Globe and Mail, which is the Canadian equivalent to the Wall Street Journal. And I saw that most of the interesting projects were over on the digital media side, and they were actually more of an agile group. So then I became a professional Scrum Master and got a chance to also become a certified Scrum Master. And finally, that led to doing some agile coaching. And then I moved on as a consultant in helping people optimize their teams. And by identifying 3 levels of teams, I've been able to help companies become more profitable. So in a way, I'm a profit strategist by optimizing teams, whether that's your advisory team, your management team, but more importantly, let's talk about your project team because they're really the ones that make it happen. So I talked a little bit at the beginning about emotional intelligence. And I think when you are working with people, people are the messiest, the most difficult, the most frustrating. And that's where emotional intelligence comes in. It's just that ability to really empathize with the other person, understand who they are, and help bring out the best of them. So this is how I do it. Some of the trends, I'm going to break this webinar into 4 parts. The first trend I want to talk about is a self-assessment because not just knowing yourself, but understanding all your people is hugely important. Then I'm going to talk about visual thinking and how mapping and stickings and canvases actually are going to improve and increase the quality of your communication and your problem solving. And then design thinking. So this really where it becomes a lot of fun because I do think that, you want to innovate as well as the other key part of design thinking is that validation, talking to the customer. And, if any of you are in projects that are tech oriented, I think it's really important. So many people say that they're customer centric, but in fact, they're not really talking to your customers. So we can get into that a little bit deeper. And finally, games and fun facilitation or gamification and using game design and game thinking to, make the work environment just more fun because I believe that when you add play, you power up profits and that happy people are productive people. And I have many, many stories of different teams and some of the fun things I've done and how they've been able to become very high performing very quickly because of the foundation and the relationships that we build based on all the four things that we've talked about. So I'm going to jump right in now to part one, which is your personality assessments. So when you know yourself, you are empowered. When you accept yourself, you are invincible. So I'm going to talk actually about a couple of different personality assessments that I love. The first one that not a lot of people know about is Sally Hogshead, and it's the science of fascination. She was a copywriter and was fascinated by the words that fascinated other people. So she started her own assessment and came up with 7 key attributes. And those 7 key attributes worked into a 49 grid archetype. So what I really love about this personality assessment is most of them put you in a quadrant. You fit in this quadrant, that quadrant, this quadrant, or that quadrant. And you're just kind of with a whole bunch of other people. It's very insightful. It gives you all sorts of insights into who you are. But I think more interesting is how do others perceive you? And this is what this personality assessment is actually very good at because it's based on the book called How the World Sees You. And if you want to do this assessment, I'm going to give you some links and things like that. But you can buy this book, How the World Sees You, and your assessment is in there. So basically, she'll go through, you answer all the questions and give you the top 2 attributes that others value in you. So for me, it was passion, innovation. I'm a catalyst. I read that. I go, absolutely, that's me. So in the earlier days, Sally would have people start with a 3 to 5 word anthem. And you basically live by that anthem and it helps you and it helps others understand you and where you add value. So, I started with I create engaging vision, I empower innovative solutions. And later, she kind of continued to upgrade her program and came up with a 2-word anthem. And I have chosen unconventional experience because, as you could see from my introduction, my experience is a little unconventional from managing rock stars to motorcycles to music to uh, technology and everything in between. So my experience is a little unconventional, and what I provide my clients is also these unconventional experiences using all these insights and games and tools that we're going to get into a little bit more. Yeah, the other cool thing about this is, as you can see, they also have a whole team course that you can also buy into. And as you can see, they visualize all the different team members, who they are, how they can contribute to the team. So this is one that I really like. The other one that I always like, but I like even more now that I live in Utah, is the Strength Finders. And this is the Gallup, the Don Clifton Strengths. So when I first moved to Utah, I had the honor of meeting Paul from from Ancestry.com. Paul Allen, not the Paul Allen from Microsoft, but the one that was one of the co-founders of Ancestry. He left there and ended up going to Gallup, becoming a huge strengths evangelist and starting this amazing little startup called soar.com, which puts coaches and coachees together. The underlying thing is uplifting humanity, really, really fun, and they're doing a lot of great work. So basically, yes, you still now have the 4 quadrants, but what I love about Strength Finders is it gives you your top 5 strengths. And the probability that anybody else has the same top 5 strengths in the same order that you do is literally 1 in 3 million. So what does that mean? That means we're going to start with what's right with you. How many times have you read a book or done something and they say, well, it worked for me, therefore it's going to work for you, and it doesn't work for you? And you go, oh my goodness, there's something wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with you. You are just absolutely unique. So my top 5 strengths are ideation, positivity, and I guess that can go into innovation and passion, woo, which is winning others over, the activator, that I think that's really a big part of my project management person, is getting these projects activated and going, and strategic. So what I love about this is, again, it's so unique and it can be used in many different ways. And the people at SOAR had an amazing conference at the Zermatt Resort where they brought in a state strength-based state, which was Rhode Island. They brought in a strength-based city, which was San Antonio. They brought in several strength-based businesses, so Scipio right here in Utah. And another one of the big winners of the strength-based companies is Rackspace, and they attribute so much of their growth and success to being strength-based, and then even strength-based schools and strength-based families. So here's a little bit how it works. You build a team strengths grid and make it very, very visual. And this not only helps each other know who the other person is, but especially where to go when you have something that's strategic or relationship building or influencing. So this is what a team strength grid can look like. Now, here's one other kind of cool thing that I want to share with you about the strengths. And that is with one of my colleagues here that I met in Utah. When you do your strengths, you can get your top 5 strengths, and you get this thing called your insight report. And as you read through your insight report, every single strength that you have has a little bit of a description. And that description is actually designed specifically for what your strength is and what order it is and everything else. And so what we recommend, and this is his process, is that when you read through your Strength Finders insights and highlight all the little things that light you up, because again, strengths in this search situation is not skill based. It's not like, oh, marketing or sales or anything like that. These are actually innate talents inside you that light you up, and that when you do it particularly well. So we have a goal, whether that's your project goal, you have a goal. Now imagine using the elements of your strengths that you enjoy, that light you up, in developing your action plan. So I think this is an awesome, awesome idea in helping people bring out the best of who they are, because they're going to be taking actions that they like, that they buy into, that's in alignment with what they can achieve. Because also, every time you celebrate a success, every time you hit a goal, that is going to have a dopamine release, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But again, I absolutely love this idea of using your strengths to develop a customized action plan that is in alignment with what you like to do to reach your goal. So here are some of the things, and let me just see if I can move this. Okay, there we go. But these are the 2 links for the strengths. Now, there are either 49.95, which gives you all 34 in order, or if you have a smaller team and you are bootstrapping it, I recommend just getting the top 5. And then the Fascinate assessment is there too, how to fascinate. And I think you will really enjoy both of those insights, not just for yourself, but when you start doing them with your teams, you're going to learn how to really help them become the best version of themselves.